was very tough on my marriage, on my relationship with the kids. I have caused enough pain for my family. I'm gonna have to live with it the rest of my life.
Why did you give up?
Arnold Schwarzenegger has finally admitted what he did to Maria Shriver, and it is worse than anyone realized. On September 27, 1997, Maria Shriver gave birth to their fourth child, Christopher. 5 days later, on October 2nd, the family housekeeper gave birth to a boy named Joseph. Same house, same father. Maria had no idea. She carried that man's child, while the woman who cleaned their kitchen carried another one. And for the next 14 years, both boys grew up under the same roof. They played in the same yard, sat at the same table, attended the same birthday parties. Maria photographed them together. She never knew she was photographing her husband's two sons. This is not a story about an affair. This is a story about a man who looked his wife in the face every morning for 14 years while the proof of what he had done ate breakfast one floor above her head. And the strangest part is that Maria knew something was wrong. She did not know the whole story, but she had known for a long time. To understand what Maria lost, you have to understand what she built. Maria Shriver was not some Hollywood starlet looking for fame. She was American royalty, the niece of President John F. Kennedy, the daughter of Eunice Kennedy Shriver, founder of the Special Olympics. She had carved out her own identity as a respected journalist at NBC News, covering stories from Bosnia to the AIDS crisis. By the late 1980s, she was anchoring her own broadcasts and being mentioned as a future face of the network. She had built that career from nothing, despite the weight of the Kennedy name. Arnold was the Austrian immigrant who became the greatest bodybuilder in history, then reinvented himself as a movie star. They met in 1977 at a charity tennis tournament hosted by Maria's mother. He was the Terminator before the Terminator existed. She was a Kennedy who wanted nothing to do with the Kennedy mystique. They were opposites in every way that mattered, and that was exactly why it worked. They married on April 26, 1986, in Hyannisport. The guest list read like a who's who of American power. Oprah Winfrey, Andy Warhol, Diane Sawyer, Grace Jones performed at the reception. It was the wedding of the decade. Over the next decade, they had 4 children. Catherine in '89, Christina in '91, Patrick in '93, Christopher in '97. Maria scaled back her career at NBC to focus on the family, eventually leaving the network entirely when Arnold ran for governor of California in 2003. She became First Lady of California. She launched after-school programs for children. She advocated for Alzheimer's research after watching her father's decline. She smiled through every press conference, every accusation, every tabloid rumor. From the outside, they were the ultimate power couple. The bodybuilder and the Kennedy, the Terminator and the journalist. 25 years of marriage, 4 children, a legacy that seemed bulletproof. But what happened behind the gates of their Brentwood mansion during those years is something Maria would not fully understand until she sat across from Arnold in a counseling session and asked the question she already knew the answer to. And the answer would rewrite every memory she had. The cracks did not start in 1996. They started before the wedding ring was ever on her finger. In 1985, Arnold was filming Red Sonja in Italy. He was engaged to Maria at the time. On that set, he began an affair with his co-star Brigitte Nielsen. The affair was not a one-night stumble. It lasted through filming. Brigitte herself confirmed it years later in a Piers Morgan interview, saying she had no idea Arnold was engaged. She said she thought she had met the love of her life. Maria found out before the wedding, and she chose to marry him anyway because she believed he had changed. She believed the man who proposed to her in Hyannisport was not the same man who had spent the previous summer in Rome with another woman. So when we talk about the secret child, understand the foundation it was built on. The first betrayal had already been forgiven. Arnold knew what she was willing to overlook, and somewhere in his mind, he was already keeping score. But the affair alone is not what broke this marriage. The cover-up did. Mildred Baena had worked as a housekeeper in the Schwarzenegger home for 20 years. She helped raise their children. She attended family events. She was trusted completely. Sometime in late 1996, Arnold began a physical relationship with her. Maria was pregnant with Christopher at the same time. While Maria was carrying their son, Arnold was sleeping with the woman who cleaned their home. And what came next was not a confession. It was a construction project. Arnold built a second life inside his own household and maintained it for over a decade. He funneled money to Mildred the entire time. According to multiple reports, he set up trusts for Joseph. He paid for Joseph's schooling. He bought Mildred a 4-bedroom house in Bakersfield in 2010 for $268,000 in cash, just months before the story broke. All of it routed quietly, all of it kept off the books, Maria saw. The affair had ended years earlier, but the lie continued every single day. And it did not stop there. In 2003, when Arnold ran for governor of California, 16 women came forward with allegations of inappropriate touching and groping going back decades. The Los Angeles Times broke the story 5 days before the election. Maria stood beside him at the podium. She was a Kennedy. She knew exactly what it looked like when a political wife was forced to defend a husband who had hurt other women. She did it anyway. She told the public to trust her judgment about her own husband. She gave interviews. She campaigned for him. She put her own credibility on the line. And the entire time, Joseph was 6 years old, living 1 floor above her bedroom. Then came the moment Maria stopped trusting her own eyes. According to multiple reports, Maria began noticing the resemblance as Joseph got older. The same jawline, the same build, the same unmistakable features that had made Arnold famous. Friends of hers have since said she would watch Joseph at family events, then look at her husband and feel something cold move through her chest. She did not want to know, but she already did. If you have ever looked at someone you trusted for decades and felt that sick feeling in the pit of your stomach, the one where your body understands something your mind is refusing to accept, then you know exactly what Maria was living through in those years. Every parent-teacher night, every school play she attended for Christopher, Joseph was there too. The same age, the same face, the same father, and Maria was the only person in the room who was not allowed to know what she was looking at. She knew it, the way a wife always knows. Small things, a look held too long, a name spoken with too much familiarity, a second cup of coffee poured for someone who should not have needed it. She knew it during the years. Mildred lingered too long in rooms Arnold was in. She knew it when she would catch a glance between them that did not belong to a housekeeper and her employer. She knew it before she had the courage to say it out loud. And when she finally did say it, all she got was confirmation. In early 2011, shortly after Arnold left office as governor, the couple entered marriage counseling. Maria confronted Arnold directly during a session. She asked if Joseph was his son. Arnold confirmed it. In his 2012 memoir, Total Recall, Arnold described that moment as the worst of his life. He wrote that he had carried the secret for so long that telling her felt like dropping a stone. He had been holding above her head for 14 years. The problem was that the stone had already fallen. He just had not told her yet. On May 17, 2011, the Los Angeles Times broke the story. Within hours, it was global news. The Terminator had fathered a secret love child with the household help. Every tabloid, every news outlet, every late-night comedian had the same story. Maria Shriver, the Kennedy who had sacrificed her career, had to walk through a gauntlet of cameras while the world discussed the most humiliating details of her private life, and she had to explain it to her 4 children, that their father had another son, that he had been there all along. Christopher, the youngest, was a teenager. He found out he had a half-brother the same week the world did. The boy he had played with for 13 years was suddenly his blood. Now think about what 25 years of memories look like when every single one of them has been poisoned. Not just the bad years, the good ones too. In her 2025 book, I Am Maria, Maria described the period after the revelation as one of deep grief. In her own words, it was brutal, and she was terrified. She was not just losing a husband. She was losing every Christmas morning she had thought was real, every anniversary dinner she had thought was honest, every family photograph where Joseph had been standing somewhere just out of frame, or worse, standing right inside it. Her body knew it before her mind could process it. The sleepless nights, the weight falling off, the physical sensation of grief sitting on her chest like a stone that would not move. Anyone who has lived through betrayal at that scale knows what it does to the body. It does not stay in the heart. It moves into the bones. A Kennedy, a woman who had sat across from world leaders, who had moderated debates and interviewed presidents, and stood at her uncle's grave on national television, sitting on a hotel bathroom floor in the dark, doing the math on her own marriage. Counting backward through 14 birthdays, counting forward through every dinner, Mildred had served them in their own home, and realizing that the 2 pregnancies had overlapped by 5 days, that is what betrayal of this scale actually looks like. Not the headlines, not the tabloid covers. The bathroom floor, alone, in the dark, doing the math. Maria filed for divorce on July 1st, 2011, after 25 years of marriage. The settlement took nearly 10 years to finalize. The divorce was not officially complete until December 2021. Part of the reason it dragged on was the sheer scale of what needed to be divided. Arnold's net worth was estimated at over $400 million. There was real estate across California, including the Brentwood mansion valued at roughly $25 million. There were ongoing Terminator franchise residuals, investment portfolios built over decades, and business interests accumulated across 30 years of one of Hollywood's most lucrative careers. California is a community property state, which meant Maria was entitled to half of everything earned during the marriage. She did not need to fight for it. The law was already on her side. What made the process so long was not disagreement over who deserved what. It was the complexity of untangling a financial empire that had been built across real estate, entertainment, fitness branding, and political fundraising for a quarter of a century. By the time it was finalized, their oldest daughter, Catherine, was already married, already a mother. The divorce outlasted the scandal that caused it. But what Maria did next surprised everyone. She did not go to war publicly. She did not give interviews trashing Arnold. She did not write a tell-all exposing every detail. She protected her children from becoming tabloid fodder more than they already were. She threw herself into her advocacy work. She expanded her focus on Alzheimer's research and women's health. She wrote books. She launched media projects. She built an identity that had nothing to do with being Arnold Schwarzenegger's wife. Meanwhile, Arnold had to rebuild his relationship with all 4 of his children, and that was not guaranteed. Catherine, the oldest, has spoken publicly about the difficulty of processing that period. Christopher, the youngest, was a teenager when the story broke. He found out he had a half-brother the same week the world did, but they stayed close to their mother. That bond never broke. She did not need Arnold Schwarzenegger's name or his fame. She had been Maria Shriver before him, and she would be Maria Shriver after. Arnold Schwarzenegger has not stopped talking about what he did, and that is the part that tells you who really learned something. In his memoir and in his 2023 Netflix documentary, he has called the affair the greatest personal failure of his life. He has admitted that he was a better actor and politician than he was a husband. Joseph Baina, now 28, has built his own career in acting and bodybuilding. Arnold has publicly acknowledged him as his son. But Maria Shriver is not looking backward. If you saw her at a public event recently, you would not recognize the woman who sat on that hotel bathroom floor in the dark. She is a best-selling author, a producer, an advocate, a grandmother now. Through her daughter Catherine's marriage to Chris Pratt, she has built a life that stands entirely on its own. She never publicly criticized Arnold, not once, not in the divorce proceedings, not in interviews, not in her books. On the Oprah podcast in 2025, she said simply, "I'm in a good place with Arnold, and that's really important to me." She did not have to say anything else. His own words, his own admissions, his own public reckoning said everything she never needed to say. 25 years of marriage, 4 children, a secret son who lived in their home, and a woman who chose to rebuild rather than burn it all down. What do you think? Did Maria handle this the right way, or should she have fought back harder? Drop your take in the comments. If this story hit you, make sure you are subscribed. We have another story coming that you will not want to miss. Maria Shriver did not just survive the most public betrayal of her generation. She walked through it without ever raising her voice, and that is the loudest thing a wronged woman has ever said.